Yeah, York's got a number of good athletes. I think they're coming off one of their better recruiting classes in the last couple of years. They got, I think, 3 or 4 of the top names coming out of the GTA last year, several of them on defense. Always a couple of good athletes on offense, guys who can go deep. Their quarterback is a senior. You know, still a little bit young on the offensive line, however, much bigger than they were last year. Much bigger on both sides of the line. So I certainly expect a much more competitive game. I think in the 3 games they were in, they were much more competitive. In 2 of the 3 of them, I think that they, self-destructed a little bit against Laurier in week 1, gave them some easy points, but actually played them pretty tough, didn't allow Laurier to run the ball very well. So the key thing for us is to build on what we got established last week and show up in Toronto in the right frame of mind and you know, improve as a team and take care of our own business. I think if we do that, then we should be fine.
Coach, do you worry about overconfident? I know it's just the 1 victory, but again, it's York.
You know, I think at the stage we're at, everybody remembers the 4th quarter of last week. That has been brought up on occasion this past week. And as a result, I think that like we were right in position to you know, establish a major blowout in that game last week, and then you allowed our opponent to come out of the stadium with a certain measure of respectability because of our ineptitude in the 4th quarter. So I think putting together a 60-minute game is really the key. I have not seen any signs of what I would call overconfidence, lack of attention to detail, lack of intensity. I think if anything, the challenge is going to be is that when you, at times in that football game, we look very good. So it will be, the challenge will be, can we, you know, continue to operate at that level? You know, we set the bar very high at times during that game, and can we, you know, get back there and keep it there? And that's going to be the challenge. So I didn't see any signs of the overconfidence bug there this week.
What about 2 weeks in a row in Toronto? Usually you get a good contingent of people cheering you on. Are you guys looking forward to that?
Typically in the OUA, I mean, in this past 10 years since I've been here, I mean, we've had a good following at all of the venues in Ontario. You know, there are a large number of Queens grads who reside in the GTA. Many of them have strong allegiance to the school and the team. So I think that you'll see tricolor represented in significant numbers on the weekend.
What do you know about this Grandison kid? They seem pretty high.
He was one of the top kids in the GTA this year. He's a nice big kid, 6'2", about 210, runs well. He was a mainstay on the Chaminade team last year. They were a very good team. And he was a top-ranked athlete. I think there were a lot of schools would like to have had his services. A good player. They have him at free safety. He sort of roams, covers a lot of ground, very physical, point of contact. So he's a good get. He's probably what they are going to build their defense around there, you know, in years to come.
Right, Pat, maybe you could talk about running back Ryan Granberg.
Well, I thought Ryan had a career game last week. I thought that, you know, Ryan going into his senior year has, you know, he has yet to, up until this year, had not established himself as sort of the main guy. Played in the shadows of some very good players, got an opportunity to learn behind some really good football players in his career. And really, like a lot of kids coming from Canada West, when they come right out of grade 12, you kind of look at their freshman year here as like a 12B year or sort of a redshirt year, and that's what it was for him. So his career kind of started in his sophomore year. He was a you know, a contributor in the 09 season, and unfortunately, as the team took off for Quebec City, he came down with the flu and couldn't be a member of the 45. He had actually contributed significantly to the first place game. In the final drive there, Jimmy and Marty were both hurt, and Ryan went in, and that famous drive to come down and win first place, Ryan was the back who was in that game, and he got all of his blocking assignments and did a great job in that famous 48-second, 85-yard drive there. So it was, he cut his teeth there, and this year he showed up. He's been a man this year. He blocked well. I challenged him in the off-season to come back here and be more physical. We talked about what it took to be the main guy as the runner. There was a certain durability factor that you had to measure up with. You had to be able to run, you had to be able to block, you had to be able to catch the ball out of the backfield, and he's doing well. And also his special teams play has also been very good. I think what's new for him is he's learning how to live with the bumps and bruises, the aches and pains of being a 30 attempt, per game running back, and that's what happened this past week. He played well, 30 carries, 150 yards, and I thought that he was a big factor in the victory last week. I thought that our running game was the thing that probably surprised people last weekend, and a lot of it was due to him and the O-line.
Just a quick change of topic. Ryan touched on it when we weren't here, but the new facility. He was saying the lights, it's like playing in the daytime, unlike the sodium lights. Just what does that mean to the football club and preparing for each and every game?
When you're trying to go out there and establish, precision in the passing game, in the pass defense, oftentimes we were out there on a surface that was well beneath the skill level, of the athletes. So, and you can't slop around in the mud all week and then they go and play a team on turf and they cut on a dime and, sometimes it takes you half the game to get back up to game speed. What we're going to be guaranteed going forward is that regardless of the conditions, weather conditions, we're going to have a quality surface. I can't say enough about the change in lighting. I mean, we're getting professional grade practice film to watch. It just makes everything better. So I believe that it will pay huge dividends down the road, I think in ways that many people outside the football culture, were unable to calculate. I think you're going to have quality practice, you're going to get good execution, you're going to get appropriate conditions for practice, particularly as the season goes on and starts to get dark earlier. And I think the quality of our practice tape has been exceptional since we've been up there. So, my congratulations to the athletics department, the university administration, and for the alumni supporters who kicked in to make this thing happen, because I think it's put a professional touch on the football program and the athletics department that was sorely lacking and is very, very welcomed by the athletes and coaches.